The solo 401k is not a new plan, and it's hard to believe that I get this question all the time, even though I've written 2 books on the solo 401k, and I'm a big proponent of the solo 401k. I get this question all the time from clients, potential clients. I've never heard of this. Is this legal? Is this something the IRS allows? Even attorneys and CPAs, I've gotten this question from. And it's interesting because people are still so caught up in the SEP IRA. And even though the solo 401k really since 2001, and I'll get into a whole ECTRA and Economic Growth, Tax Relief and Reconciliation Act, which really gave the teeth to the solo 401k. But that, again, that's 17 years ago. There's no reason that CPAs and attorneys are still dumbfounded when you talk about the solo 401k. It really makes no sense, but that's the reality. And there's actually a document written by the IRS that it says facts or fiction about the solo 401k. And one of the first questions is the solo 401k a new plan? And it's obviously the answer is no, it's fiction. It's not a new plan. Solo 401k is really not even a term of art. You're not going to see the word solo 401k in the IRS tax code. Okay, a lot of people call it individual 401k, self-employed 401k, IK. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's basically a 401k plan that's not subject to ERISA, which is a body of laws that protects common law employees and requires the employer to provide the employees with a certain set of benefits. And the reason ERISA doesn't apply is because there's no reason to protect you from yourself. If a solo 401k only applies to the owners and the spouses of the owners, there's no reason for the Department of Labor to get involved in protecting yourselves because you can do a good job protecting your own well-being. So you don't have ERISA, but it's not a new plan. It's really a 401k plan that's just not subject to ERISA. Prior to 2001, solo 401ks, best known as KEOs, were not super popular because they were basically the same as SEP IRAs. They're basically just pure profit-sharing plans. There's no loan feature, no employee deferral, no Roths. So people just did SEPs. They were easy to administer. People were more comfortable with them. You didn't need opinion letters. You didn't need to keep your plan in compliance, file 5,500 EZs. Just a much simpler process. But after 9/11, President Bush at the time had a Jobs Act, and as part of ECTRA, as one of the provisions was it added a lot of benefits to the solo K. It added the employee deferral along with the profit sharing. It added a Roth component. It added a Roth conversion option. It also included the loan feature. So it made the solo 401k way more popular and made it akin to the actual 401k. And I use the word solo 401k, but it's really just a 401k that is not subject to ERISA and that is basically designed for someone who's self-employed and has no full-time employees other than the owners or their spouses. So it's just an eligibility question. If you have employees, you can call your plan a solo K, but it's not. It's just a 401k subject to ERISA. You have no full-time employees other than the owners or spouses. And a full-time employee means 1,000 hours, or 1,500 hours if it's a leased employee. Then you're not subject to ERISA, and since it's just the owners and the spouses, ERISA doesn't, and the Department of Labor don't have to get involved. And you have what's called a solo K, which basically means you're not subject to ERISA, which basically means you now have the ability to make employee deferrals, profit sharing, because the profit sharing is only going to benefit you or your partner or your spouse, so that you can live with. The loan feature, you can do Roth contributions, pre-tax, after-tax, if your plan allows for it. And it's basically just a much better SEP IRA and a much better 401k because you don't have to deal with ERISA. I can't tell you how many people I talk to that say, well, I got employees, but hey, I'll set up a separate business. I won't tell my employees. Unfortunately, you can't do that. There's something called control group rules. The IRS figured that out long before you did, and they understand the benefits of having a 401k not subject to ERISA, and they don't want executives or highly compensated employees setting up their own plan, not offering benefits to their employees, and supercharging their retirement account without the benefit to the employees. So in sum, the solo K is not a term of art. It's just a 401k not subject to ERISA because the only participants are the owners and their spouses, and it is basically a much better SEP since 2001 because you have employee deferrals, not just profit sharing. You have loan features, Roth components. So it's a really robust plan, but it's not new. Been around since the 80s. It just got supercharged with EGTRA, and now it's really the most popular plan for the retirement plan for the self-employed. There's still people, believe it or not, and accountants that are just pushing their clients into SEPs, even simple IRAs. I'm not sure why. Unless you're maxing out, you make $1 million a year, and you're under 50, you should be doing the solo over the SEP. Better options, Roth, loan feature, easier to hit your maximum contribution, it's easier to invest, good exemption to non-recourse leverage for real estate investors, circumvented UBTI. So some really great stuff. And again, it's not a new plan, but it's here to stay, and I would put all my clients in it if I could, but if you're eligible, you need to learn more about the Solo K. It could be the best decision you make.